Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. But today is day 111 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year, all outside, bearing the elements whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. This being my second full year ever running, the first full year being able to run 1,000 miles in 175 days. This goal for the second year is a 25% step up in miles and a 100% step up in the amount of days I will be running. Also within this year, I'll be running my first ever official 50K trail race in Yankee Springs, Michigan. Really looking forward to it, and currently in the training block for it. Really trying and needing to add some elevation into the training block here coming up. So we'll see what the rest of the week has in store for that. Also, we'll be running my first officially timed marathon here in October, and that will be my second marathon I ever ran. The first one I ran in 2020, it was not officially timed, but I was able to run it within 5 hours and 22 minutes. So I'm hoping to run the 50K in that time, and hoping to really shave off about an hour to an hour and a half of my marathon time in the marathon that's going to be happening here in October at the Detroit Free Press Marathon. So other than that, let's kind of just get into mileage. So today was day 111, like I said, and for the day, I just pumped out another 3.6. Kind of just locked in that number. I've been trying to really just pump out at least a 5K, and the route I take pumps out just a little bit more, 3.6 instead of 3.1. I've been really kind of just stuck to that, trying to get a 5K out every single day, especially here in the month of April, at least. One day so far I did in the beginning, I think it was the second or third day of April, I did run just a mile and a half, but other than that, every other day has been at least a 5K. Some days have been a 10K. One day was a half marathon, one day was a 15K. So we've ranged all around so far here in the month of April. But today, day 111 was just another, just over 5K again, 3.6. That puts me at 11 miles even for the week. Those who have been following along know that I do a bare minimum of 25 miles per week in order to hit 100 miles for the month, in order to hit the 1250 for the year. So I do a bare minimum of 25, but I like to have a set goal for 33. So with the set goal of 33, I got 21.9 left for this week. And like I said, for the month, I've been trying to have a 100-mile goal every month in order to hit the yearly goal. And realizing that, I decided to do a 100-mile challenge every single month and do it in honor of different charities for every month, and try to raise money and awareness for these charities every month while pumping out these miles. So in January, February, March, we were able to surpass all 100 miles, and we were able to raise money for the American Cancer Society, Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Now we're sitting here in April, and we are raising money for Autism Speaks, because April is Autism Awareness Month. So if you guys would like to make a donation, all donations are appreciated. No matter how big or small, we're accepting everything. So if you can only donate a little bit, don't feel bad or embarrassed that you're only donating $5. It goes a long way, and it helps out a lot. So all donations are welcome. You can find the link to donate on the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook story, as well as my personal page's Instagram or Facebook story. And in the story, it has like a little banner that says April 100-mile challenge for Autism Speaks. Up at the very top, it'll say donate on Facebook. You click on that donate on Facebook, it'll open you up on another link on Facebook where you can make your donation. All donations that get made go directly to the fundraiser, Facebook gets 0%. I get 0% of the donation. So the charity gets every cent of whatever you guys want to donate. So that's a really cool reason why I'm continuing to do these fundraisers through Facebook, is because they make sure that the charity gets all of the cut that gets donated to them. That being said, though, I do know times are tough and people would still like to help out to this fundraiser, but they just cannot afford it right now, and we get that. So if you can't afford it, the best thing you can do is you can at least share this fundraiser so other people can see it, and then they may be able to donate and share as well, and hopefully we can raise money and just raise awareness and spread out the fact that the fundraiser is going on, and hopefully some more and more people will donate and we can raise money. We will be having another fundraiser coming up here in May, but we won't worry about that till May 1st. This one will be going, I think I said, until May 7th or May 8th. I'm not official on that right now offhand, but when I get that, I'll let you guys know, maybe next episode or whatever. But this one is going to be going on until, just a little bit past the beginning of May. So let's get our donations in, guys. Let's try to raise money this month for Autism Speaks, and let's also raise awareness for autism. So other than that, the mileage for the month, 99.6. So after tomorrow's run, we will be done with the 100-mile challenge for this month, and we will have 8 days after that to pump out even more miles and see where we can get. I think the most I've gotten so far is 133 or 137 maybe. So we're really going to try to pump out this last week here, try to get out some good mileage, and maybe do a personal best here. So 99.6 for the month, and now for the year, I'm at 464.5, guys. So I only have 785.4 to go. It's a very interesting every day just to watch the miles I have and the miles I have left, just kind of slowly getting closer and closer and closer together, like almost that halfway point. Feeling good, feeling great, really stoked about it. So after 111 days consecutively running, today I pumped out 3.6 for the week. I am at 11 for the month so far. We are at 99.6, and for the year total we are at 464.5. Okay, guys, that being said, let's kind of just get into today's episode. So we had episode 108, 109, and 110. 108 being past, 109 being present, 110 being future. I kind of talked about them all, how I have been stuck in all of them, and kind of, I guess stuck was the best word. I wasn't moving forward with my life, and with the past, I couldn't get out of it. I was kept dwelling in it. With the present, I never took advantage of it, and never took advantage of it, and I always kind of just lived in it by never really, sometimes never thinking about the things I have done or what the repercussions will happen for the things I will do. So I have always sometimes lived in the present and in the future. I talked about how I would always plan for a future, but I would never really do anything to get it. And also, we'll get to that actually in a second. Let's just kind of get into today's episode, because we're already 9 minutes in. We haven't even discussed what today's episode is. So, talked about all three of those episodes, 108, 109, 110, past, present, future. Today's episode, 111, is going to be Trinity. Now, I say that because, like I said, to begin this, we were talking about all three of those. We were talking about the past, present, and the future, and how I have been caught in each of them and kind of didn't succeed by being caught in each of them. And you would think, well, one of them has to be the right thing to be stuck in, or one of them has to be the right mentality to be focusing on. You could either focus on your past, you could focus on your present, or you can focus on your future. What is it? And then the more and more I think about it, and the more I thought about it, it's a Trinity. It's kind of like we could even talk about it in biblical terms of like of God, of the Son, the Father, the Holy Ghost. All three of them are God. It's kind of like the past, the present, the future. The past being the ghost, the present being the Father, the future being the Son. They're all three different entities. They're all separate, but they are all conjoined at the same time. They all have a similarity, something that brings them together, that a singularity almost too. It's just something that really ties them all together. And I think that is kind of with the past, present, and future of like living in it. I think the best thing you can do, at least what I have found out for me personally, the best thing that I can do, and my life just kind of flows better and things kind of start working out and just falling into place, it feels like, is to live within all three of them at once, is to find that balance. Don't rely too heavily on your past, but don't rely too heavily on what's going on currently, but don't also rely too heavily on what you have planned for the future, because sometimes the future changes. So I think the best thing to do is kind of have a foot in all of them. And I know we only have 2 feet. I get that. But what I mean is kind of have a little taste in all of them. When a situation happens, I guess maybe the first thing to do is to think, have I done something, or have I had a situation in my past that is relevant to what is going on currently? And then when you're currently in the situation, you can think, what are my options that I can take here? If I thought about something in the past, will I repeat it? If I have no connection with it in the past and this is something new, if I go this way, this will happen. If I go the opposite way, maybe this will be the outcome. So really try to think about the outcome in the current moment, and then also think about what the outcome being actually the future of, hey, if this happened in the past and this is what happened when I did this, this is what the future is going to be. If I have no connection to this in the past and this is all new to me currently, my assumption is if I do it this way, maybe this is what my future will be. If I do it this way, maybe this is what my future will be. The whole idea is to try to find that perfect balance between your past, your present, your future, and realize that they all tie. I mean, clearly they all tie into each other. We know that. But I don't think we realize how much we can get lost inside of one. We can be in 2 at one time. And I feel like it's in those times when we're lost, when we're stuck in the past, when we're lost in the present, or when we're daydreaming about the future. Okay, we can be in either one, or we can be in 2 of them at once. But it's when we're in just 2 or we're just in 1 at a time. I think it's when we're feeling very disoriented and kind of hopeless and things aren't working out. I think it's when you find that perfect balance between all 3. You can be centered between your past, your present, and your future, and you can feel them all coming together as one. I think it's in that moment that you don't necessarily find happiness, but you find meaning, you find reason to really keep striving. So you can really consider your past, you can really consider what you're doing in your present that is in order going to change and shape your future. So that's pretty much it, guys, for today's episode. It is thinking about all 3 of them together as one. They are a trinity. They are connected. Don't live in your past. Don't live in your present. Don't live in your future. Live within all of them at once, and that is your daily discipline for the day. It is to really focus on what aspects of your life that you are holding on to that are in your past, what aspects of your life that you are stuck in currently in the present, and what aspects are you just daydreaming about in the future but never really making the steps towards them, even though that's kind of where you want to be. So think about all three of those and then figure out that Trinity to get that perfect balance of figuring out where you came from, what you're doing currently, and how you're going to get to where you want to go. Figure out that Trinity and just focus on it. That is your daily discipline for the day, guys. I want to thank you so much for listening to episode 111, hence the Trinity. It actually kind of just worked out that way too, so it was meant to be. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you guys can, please give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on the Defining Discipline Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well as whatever podcast streaming platform you guys will be listening to us on. If you guys know anyone that may be interested in this podcast, please share it with them. Let them know about it. Other than that, just keep following along. I really appreciate it, guys. Every single day, we're pumping out some miles. We're getting day closer to hitting these goals and a day closer to these races that I'm really looking forward to. Hope you guys continue to follow along. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 112. Might try to pump out a little bit of a medium-sized day tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Other than that, again, just thanks so much for listening. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 112. I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline Podcast. Peace out.